You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account. A friend paying you back. Or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card. Or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply. You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account. A friend paying you back. Or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card. Or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
My
Did I screw up there?
My name didn't sound like you said it exactly right.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Stugotz.
Let him slide. Montreal's gonna poke out every now and then on this show. All right, everybody, just
In 3 days?
Hang on.
He picked up the accent?
no, this ain't the accent.
That's what I was doing there for sure.
Yeah.
I slept for 14 hours yesterday too.
LeBron did take out Doug Gottlieb over the weekend. He informed me, I did not know this, that Doug Gottlieb hadn't won a game in 3 months and is 2-24 at Green Bay.
You want to know something crazy about Doug Gottlieb, just in general? So, he's the head coach of a college basketball team, right? And we're in the middle of college basketball season. He was at Radio Row in the middle of his college basketball season.
He does a daily show.
I know, but he should be coaching his team. You can do that remotely. We were walking around Radio Row and we saw that the set was all set up for the Doug Gottlieb show. And it's kind of like, you should probably be with your team right now, I would think, in the middle of the season. I know that this is the biggest place, but you have this other commitment. Maybe do the show from a studio at least in the same town, or have someone there and do it remotely. The setup for the Doug Gottlieb show, and I in fairness, I didn't actually see him there. I just saw the set was all set up for his show, and I was kind of like, can he just be off for a week from coaching his team in the middle of the season?
Is it possible that it was just his people there and not him?
It's very possible. I'm going to look into this.
Unprofessional.
Okay. Unprofessional.
Yeah.
So
And the most professional. Very professional for one job, unprofessional for the other. Either way.
the rare.
Quite the bind to put himself in.
The rare adequately professional by being unprofessional in one venue, but maximum professional in the other venue. 2-24, his Green Bay basketball team, again, has not won a game in 3 months. Doesn't matter much, it would appear, whether he shows up or not.
They won on Sunday. Wow. It was their first win after losing 21 straight. So
they showed LeBron.
You probably shouldn't be on Radio Row if you've lost 21 in a row, but here we are.
He was there.
I want to
confirmed.
So he was indeed there. That does seem a little bit crazy. What is he doing? Flying in and out? What?
Can we praise the work ethic a little bit?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
For one. The other is where.
Okay, so he was doing that on Radio Row. I'm about to tell you my racist story. Me being racist.
About damn time.
It has been too long. And thank you, Roy. And,
You're welcome.
And now I'm scared of it, and I think it's going to underdeliver. But at 11 o'clock Eastern, so in an hour and 15 minutes, I'm trying to decide. You guys help me decide the best way to do this. You guys do not know this story. You guys do not know the guest. I thought it was two guests because it was somebody and somebody who witnessed it. I thought we were going to get two guests of a sighting, me exposing myself, calling myself out for doing something racist on Radio Row. And I don't know whether to do it with the reveal of the guest in an hour and 15 minutes, or just to do it in the build-up right before the guest joins us so that you can see the punchline of the guest is going to join us, who I did the racist thing to. And so how do you guys think is the best way to do this? Because nobody here...
We have no information, so it's very hard to advise you.
I'll make a ruling. Write the name of the guest, and I will rule whether or not how it needs to be
Well, hold on.
handled.
Can I give Greg Cody some more backstory? Because I don't know the story. I don't know the guest. I know that when we had another conversation separate from this, it somehow became connected where we were talking about whether or not Walter Payton played football in socks.
No, those two things aren't connected.
Okay, there's just another
One of those things
We-
might not be true.
It wasn't. We found a lot of pictures of him in socks. It was
No.
very
Dan is
confusing.
racist, so
Well,
that's true.
Rather than know the person,
Chris.
what I need to know is like exactly how racist.
Yeah.
Because I've been having on-air fun with this, and it's one of those things that all right, we're getting to the point where I kind of need to know.
degree of
Kugler's
racism.
afraid of it. Kugler's
Okay,
afraid
good.
of it.
So whose judgment are we following?
No, but Kugler doesn't know the story either. I'm the only one so far with the story.
well,
Nobody
this
else.
is concerning.
Kind of need to know the levels, the extent of the racism.
Can we tell Roy?
Wait, which race did you offend?
I offended Roy's race.
Oh, that's great, Dan.
I'm gonna need Roy to approve this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy's race.
My people.
Okay, within
human race.
Within the next hour, I'm going to figure
My
out
people.
how to tell this story, and I now am scared of it too. But I also feel like because you guys are expecting some sort of horribly overt racism as opposed to what it is that I did, which was an honest mistake, but was also racist, is something I would think that you would trust me with the telling of that story.
Well, okay. Does the guest that's coming on know that they were a victim of your racism, or are they finding out that you were racist
no, they
towards
know.
them live?
No, they know. They
Okay, so if the
we were
person's
there together when it
willing to
happened.
come on, it could be not that bad, or
Well,
the person could
well,
be kind of
no.
coming on to publicly end you.
Well, yeah. And this person is exceedingly kind. I don't think he gets to decide for everybody the ruling on this. Like he's an exceedingly kind person who met this with exceeding kindness that perhaps I did not merit. But so I don't think that that's the way to go.
It sounds like you want it to be really racist, and the person's like, "Nah, it was cool," and you're like, "No,
No,
please,
I
make me racist."
Okay, well, I don't. We'll find out together when I tell the story, and I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to not tell it right now, so that there's both the tease.
I'm teased.
Yeah, and also I can discuss it with you in the break, so that I can just never speak of it again if it's too bad, because I haven't run this past anybody.
I
yet.
have to say, after this build-up, man, there better be a big payday.
Well, but I'm not sure there is. That's the problem. And I think we're already there because we couldn't get this guest when the story happened. And I think teasing it for 7 days has overdone it. It's going to nuke the story. Like
You're setting this up like you burned a cross on someone's lawn.
I don't
just so you
think
know.
the story now will meet expectations. I think it's impossible for that to
Well,
happen.
you didn't deny that accusation.
Right.
I would, if I didn't burn a cross, you'd know about it. I'd be like saying it from the hilltop.
Sure.
I did not burn a cross.
I never have.
No pillowcase on your head?
No.
Okay, good.
Whoops.
Is this more societal shift racism or your classic type?
I'll come back to it. I'm sorry to
Mean
tease
as
it
a
this
waiter
way,
racism,
and,
or-
yes.
No!
Oh,
they all look the
It's
same,
good.
huh, Dan?
We can dig ourselves out of this
Oh,
one.
boy.
We can dig ourselves out of this.
It is exactly on the spectrum of a mean as a waiter.
Oh, no.
It is that in fact, Chris Cody, you have never exhibited quite such genius here because yes, now we're here. For those of you who do not know, now this happened to me twice at the Clevelander during the course of the things that we're doing every day. Very often I can be lost in my own thoughts. Now more than ever with the amount of things that I'm thinking about every day, just that don't have anything to do with the doing of the show. 2 times in my life, I have offended a colleague at the Clevelander because I did not know who they were, and I was supposed to know who they were, and I should have known who they were. So one time I walk into our studio, and sitting at a table with a black T-shirt that I thought was a Clevelander T-shirt is somebody eating lunch, eating a sandwich. And I walk right past him, and I thought Amin El-Hassan, who worked with us as a colleague, has been somebody with us for a long time. I thought he was a Clevelander employee who for some reason was having lunch in our studio. who just come in to have lunch. And that's how I saw him from the back. The other time that it happened is I walked right past Diana Rossini in the makeup chair because I thought she was from adjacent Deportes that was in the other room for that brief period. And I thought Rossini was Cuban. When I was walking past her, she was getting her hair done. So this is what happened. I'm just going to tell you.
You see, he's sexist too.
Right. It's not just racism. It's sexism as well. So I'm in the convention center, and my wife needs to find a bathroom. And the convention center is vast. The convention center, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are all convention centers vast? Because they all look the same.
No fine. Cough button.
Good job.
Thank you. Continue with your story. I downloaded Venmo, by the way. I'm all hooked up.
So easy, right?
Damn right.
Hell yeah.
It empowers me. When I see that
You
app,
just want to start sending people money.
When I see that app in my phone, it delights me. It's a beautiful logo.
Yeah.
Great V. Blue background.
Can I pay? I'd like to pay. You're not fined for those $5, but you do own. Did you change your code since I hacked it last week in an amazing?
You did. Have I changed my number yet?
He hasn't changed it.
Why would I?
I could get right back in there. It's so good.
Boy.
Do you know how crazy it is that I was able to find his? That I was able to break into his phone with his number without actually knowing what the number was last week on one try? That's crazy.
It was a wild
Yeah.
guess.
Wild Dan Cody.
I Venmo'd Gary the Bag $100 just to be kind.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you leave a note? You know you can leave notes.
No, I didn't know that.
Really?
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know, the ins and outs.
That's why I like you. You're an
Thank
old
you.
dog that does learn new tricks.
You know, I do. Tricking it.
He doesn't actually, but I am now
He
officially.
Venmo'd Gary the Bag, Dan.
I am paying this fine for him right now.
What fine? What are you doing?
You owe $20 from the last. Now I put it in as 20 cents though.
Good. Let's do
All right,
it that
well, it's
way.
been paid. There's
Can you
nothing we
Venmo?
can do.
Can you Venmo less than $1? Can you Venmo 20 cents?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yes. So here's the story. I'm in the convention center and I'm trying to find a bathroom for my wife. And I'm not going to say there's a kiosk. What would I describe this as? It's not quite a table either. It's something very thin that would come up to about chest high, and it's got some brochures on it. So it's not quite a table, but it's in any convention center you would find a table that's
Like an
got some
information booth?
brochures on it.
I would always refer to that as a kiosk.
But it's not. But it's not.
I know what you're talking about.
No,
A
but
kiosk for me.
a kiosk might excuse me as thinking somebody works there. That's not what this is.
Well, it's
this is
someone-
it's a thin table,
It's like a high top?
like a high top thin table, and it's got about 7 or 8 brochures on it. But it's not an information queue.
Was someone looking like they should have been manning it or womaning it?
a man was behind it.
That's a kiosk.
It's not a kiosk. though.
Sounds like it's just a bar top table.
Okay, the distinction between a bar top table and a kiosk is an important one because when I stepped back from my racism, I realized that this would not be a kiosk. When I stepped back from assuming that that person worked there because they were standing behind brochures that were just brochures that you'd grab at any convention center that wouldn't be manned by anybody because there are 50 of them, the length of the convention center, on where it is you can go on an alligator boat tour. But it's not an information desk. And it's someone who's on the phone with a Bluetooth, and I don't see that they've got an earbud in, and so I just see someone standing there in a collared shirt. And so I come to that person. And Billy, I lied to you earlier because I didn't want to put both of the stories together and then reveal who it was, which was former NFL running back and University of Miami running back Jared Payton, who I've covered, who I know. Who had to pull the phone out of his ear, had to pull the earbud out of his ear to receive and accept my racism, and then told me his father played without socks.
Wow.
I'm still very confused.
Which part are you confused
What did you
by?
ask him? Where's there a bathroom?
Yes, thinking that he worked there, interrupting his phone call. He's on a business call. He's a businessman.
Was he
Did you
booking
approach-
tours?
Did you approach him from the back?
No, from the front.
Did you play the game of, I knew who you were. That's why I was asking you.
Scott,
I know you. I only
quite
ask people I know.
recognizable. Like he's been around. Like every Walter Payton Man of the Year, we see Jared Payton, former Orange Bowl MVP. I believe.
Well, I will say that my wife's need for a bathroom overtook all ability to recognize people. I had to find her.
That's not a thing.
Throw her under the bus.
It's Valerie's fault that you might be racist.
You're doubling down on the sexism.
Too much information.
You're blaming her?
Did you do like a fake like
For your
punch in
facial
the
blindness?
ribs? Like, I'm just getting Jared.
What? Wait, hold on.
JP,
Did you
my guy.
Did you think that excuse through? You've had several days.
The visual-
Your wife's need to go to the bathroom made you not recognize a black person?
The visual of
Well,
Dan
he was
in
wearing
like
a collared shirt.
Dan in like superhero mode. Like, I am getting my wife to the bathroom. Out of the
Sir.
way, everyone. I'm bathroom man, sir.
So, Jared Payton's coming on to do what exactly?
I don't know. I was just going to talk to him about whether his dad wore socks or not, and you call him a liar.
Oh, now I'm against
You
it.
called him a liar. You said you found several photos on the internet of him wearing socks, so we'll just talk to Jared Payton. I don't know. We'll talk to him about
Maybe he meant he didn't wear socks around the house.
Let's build out this bathroom man superhero character where he just
Out of the way, peasants. My wife needs to urinate.
Deflection.
Even though my wife is a woman, so she doesn't use the bathroom.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Mattel, Heinz, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making and selling, and for shoppers, buying. Simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. No one does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms, and then waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back. Now Taxes is easily uploading your forms to a TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation, an expert who's backed by the latest technology, which cross-checks millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, and then you get the most money back, guaranteed. All while you go about your day. No stressing, no worrying, no waiting. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness, some meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.
Don Le Batard.
Our Panther group chat, we're confident against the Lightning. This is a different team.
Yeah. You're a Panther group chat, though.
No, I think no, but dude, you're so wrong on that. We've been terrified of this team forever, and I think there's a different energy where the Panthers, they want the Lightning.
Stugotz.
I want T-shirts made for this Panther run. What could be this Panther run? Our Panther group chat, we're not afraid of the Lightning.
That's a tagline for World War 3.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Cam Ward has threatened the league that if they don't pick him, he's going to remember.
Good news is he's going to get picked.
But if he's not picked first,
that.
if he's not picked first,
Oh, then that's interesting. A little bit. You think he gets picked second?
Wow.
If he's not picked first, he's going to remember. Was that a shot he took at Restrepo?
Yes, 100%. And I'm glad that it came out, quite honestly, because I wasn't a fan of how Restrepo prepared for that bowl game. It was bad. And Restrepo's got this thing, underdog mentality, built himself up to all-time leading receiver at the University of Miami, but there's a lot of myth building. Guy does a lot of things for likes and, scrappy guy. Everyone's like, must be a big team guy. And it wasn't about the NFL. If it was about the NFL, Cam Ward wouldn't have been playing. Cam Ward said directly there were some guys that weren't playing in that bowl game that should have been playing in that bowl game. Cam Ward entered that bowl game against a top-5 pass defense without 3 of his 4 leading receivers. Elijah Arroyo might be a first-round pick. He was out there. Cam Ward might be the first overall pick. He was out there. Xavier Restrepo didn't want to be out there. Xavier Restrepo wasn't carrying any injuries. He made the decision, and that's fine. But if the number 1 overall pick potentially is playing, if the guy that helped you get to all-time leading receiver status at the University of Miami is playing, I think you kind of owe it to him. And to me, it wasn't about the NFL. It was about the preparation that went into the bowl game. It was about the 2 weeks that led up to it that Xavier Restrepo didn't want to be a part of. So I'm happy that he got taken to task, because I do think Xavier Restrepo is going to look back and regret that, because the way that he left, it made people feel a certain kind of way. Like, that's not the exit we believed in. That's not the myth that we wanted to buy into.
Is skipping a bowl game any better or worse than playing the first half of a bowl game and not the second half?
Yes, it's a lot worse.
It's a half worse.
It's a lot worse, because Cam Ward was not just there for that first half, which was spectacular.
Right.
He was there with his brothers for 2 weeks, going to practice, going through the grind, preparing for the bowl game, one last game with his boys. Xavier Restrepo wasn't really doing any of that. He kind of opted out on all of that. He could have not played and still been around the program, and he wasn't, and that's his prerogative. But no one was saying anything, and people kind of knew this was going on behind the scenes. And it was, look, he's entitled to do what he wants, but I found it disappointing.
You are doing something that a lot of fans are going to do and is going to change this conversation. In fact, I will say that on live air, I got caught in the air and went from right to wrong on, I've always said this about college football, which is, you don't have to play in that bowl game. It's a business decision. And then it dawned on me, well, no, now it's a transaction. That's a professional transaction. And once you do that, I won't have Restrepo go to that huddle for the rah-rah punctuation camaraderie of being team guy that Mike's wants. I know he'd like to believe in that myth. We're all in it together. Those two guys helped each other. Cam Ward helped Restrepo. Restrepo also, I'm sure, believes he helped Cam Ward. I don't know what their actual relationship is. I'm more interested in the business transactions portions of this, because Mike sounds hurt by it. And I understand why, because if the other guys care enough, and Mike's out there defending Cam Ward for playing the half that he played, while everyone watching is expecting the thought process I had on this one, which is, no, play the whole game. All of you should play the whole game. That's been the rule for college sports forever. And over the last 10 years, more and more guys have opted out in a way that anyone can respect and understand the business decision. You cannot blow out your knee in the last game. But the playing of one half versus not playing at all, hurting your feelings, Mike, when you're fighting the internet on the half that he played, because the internet said they lost the game because he didn't play the second half. If he'd played the second half, they clearly would have won the game. There wasn't a time that Iowa State was going to stop them going down the field.
Probably. What bothered me the most was Cam became a national topic for not playing a second half when Cam played an entire quarter extra than he was supposed to. Miami has Carson Beck today because of how they went into that bowl game with the plan. They needed to evaluate Emory Williams. They had the best quarterback in the portal come to Miami because of the decision to not play Cam the entire game. Cam played a quarter more than I had heard he was going to play. It's not about that. It's about this guy and a lot of guys on this team in the NIL era putting their foot down saying, all right, these bowl games are going to mean a little bit more. We're not going to be part of the problem. It's kind of like the NBA discussion.
Pal.
We're going to actually play, and Cam got villainized nationally for actually playing more. If he hadn't played at all, he wouldn't have gotten an ounce of criticism, really. But the fact that he only played a half made this matter more. Meanwhile, a dude like Xavier Restrepo, who just kind of checked out on the entire bowl prep process, just totally skates by, and I found that really unfair.
Cody says there's no difference between what Restrepo did and what Cam Ward did.
There's a huge difference between the value of a quarterback and the value of a wide receiver, almost no matter who it is. Certainly Restrepo had a great college career. I don't think he's somebody who's going to be a huge star in the NFL.
Leading receiver, look, okay, we can minimize and dilute Restrepo however it is that you wish to. Leading receiver in the history of the program that has produced plenty of good receivers.
Right.
Took him a little more time, but not that much more time. Like, was a prolific receiver, and I understand why he may think he's a first-round pick, even if you don't think he's a first-round pick.
Okay, they win that game without Restrepo. They also win that game if Cam Ward plays the second half. I'm just saying...
And they'd be stuck with Emory Williams if Cam Ward does play that second half.
Nobody believes that.
Nobody believes that?
He just told you that, though.
I'm telling you that.
He's telling you that from the inside.
Emory Williams is a quarterback if you don't get the chance to evaluate him in that bowl game. I'm telling you, 100% certain.
One half makes their whole decision on that?
Yeah.
Happens to know.
Yeah.
He's doing a happens to know.
That's a small sample
he's
to make
doing
an entire decision.
He's
I'm
doing a
not
happens
saying
to
you're
know.
wrong. That's
They
just
entered
wild.
that game loving Emory Williams. Loving Emory Williams, thinking that they would be fine.
Wow.
I'm telling you, yes, that second half was that disastrous.
I betray confidence when I say that Mike Ryan, for the last couple of years, has been touting how high they were on Emory Williams, and I have seen very little evidence of whatever that high was. But for 2 years, he's. The thought was that Van Dyke better not sit out too much because he'll never get the job back. Like, that was the appraisal 18 games ago.
They liked Emory, and look, offensive coordinators fall in love with different guys. Is how Kirk Cousins made almost like $1 billion. They like guys that execute the offense. There were plenty of people, boosters and people on the staff that had their questions about it, but people like Shannon Dawson loved Emory Williams, for example, and the entire coaching staff liked Emory Williams' grit. Me, as someone that was just at practice and watching the games, I didn't really see any kind of special talent. Always wanted to upgrade the position, but I'm telling you, that second half was massive for where Miami finds himself now with Carson Beck. I will tell you also with certainty that the way that Xavier Restrepo checked out on that game was not well received. It felt bad to his teammates. There were a lot of teammates. It felt more like Sam Brown, who also kind of deuced on the team. But whatever, he's Sam Brown. There were a bunch of guys that knew what they were risking. Guys with legitimate NFL prospects that knew what they were risking by even putting the shoulder pads on. Look, Cam Ward would have liked to have taken 2 weeks off and prepared for the NFL draft and not have to worry and watch film, but he didn't do that. For his teammates, he went out there, and then he got vilified by the national media for doing just that, where he could have just been playing golf like some of his other teammates.
I want to know, Chris Cody, I want you to prepare for me, please, because we have a very important distinction to make right now. Mike Ryan, it seems to me, went aggressively from I happen to know, which was the highest form of reporting that he does around here, to with certainty, which seemed like it was a level higher than happen to know. I thought happen to know was the highest form that there was here, but now there's a with certainty, and I didn't know there was one of those. Like, I thought happen to know was the highest range that we went on this particular song. But Chris, did Roy
dropped, I think, 2 with certainties.
I also happen to respect the chain of command because I wasn't going to talk about this until Cam Ward gave me license to.
You were going to talk Pop-Tarts Bowl and
was not going to be talking about Xavier Restrepo opting out of a bowl game.
He wasn't going to give us five straight minutes of Emory Williams.
So
what license to?
What did you think he did at the convention center?
That is what swept through my face and head as soon as he took out the earpiece. As soon as he took it out, I'm like, what was I thinking here? You're in charge of the brochures? That Jared Payton is he's going to
Normally the brochures are just like in a little compartment like on a wall, and you just take out the ones you want to go to see.
I thought Jared Payton was there to offer me an airboat ride.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you ask him how much it would be, or
he
didn't look like an airboat captain you'd want to go on a boat with?
He actually just said, "Dan, you know me."
Oh boy! And then what went through your head? Because you said, "How do I know an airboat captain?" Never been in these parts.
It's got a very recognizable face. If you covered him for years at the University of Miami, you would remember this guy.
He's lovely, too.
He's a super nice guy.
Well, my wife, after returning from the bathrooms procured for her by Bathroom Man, my wife said, wow, he's sweet. And I'm like, yes, his father was sweetness. His father.
Apple doesn't fall far.
Yeah, no, and his father played without socks. And Billy called him a liar.
He did not play without socks. Like, there's clear unless for some reason Walter Payton cut off the actual foot part of his sock. He did not play without socks. He was not playing with leggings on that were painted like socks.
I also, forgive me, I'm close to 40 years old. I feel like I would have heard about this. I feel like I would have heard about one of the greatest running backs of all time not playing with socks.
Okay. Look, just do a Google image search for Walter Payton and see if you can find any photos of him running around without socks. They don't exist.
Okay, so we will find out together.
No, we have the answer.
I know.
Jared Payton's a liar.
Okay, we will question
Maybe it
him.
wasn't Jared Payton. Maybe it was a boat captain.
Are you serious that Jared Payton told you this?
Yes.
Huh.
Could be a Jared Payton impersonator.
Are you? Yeah. Are you? Hold up. Now,
a doppelganger.
Did you even talk to Jared Payton?
And airboat captain,
Right.
like that's just who looks remarkably like Jared Payton.
Greg just opened the door to a whole possibility. Yeah. I hope to God this is actually Jared Payton. Because, oh my God, you didn't recognize him. Well, there is like a 40% chance that this is not Jared Payton.
Well, no, Jared Payton presumably is actually coming on, because I doubt that you asked this person for their phone number. So Jared Payton's coming on. Does the person that's coming on know the story?
I don't know. We're going to find out all of this together, and we're going to find out whether he's a liar, because he did mention to me this person, and he might be a Jared Payton impersonator who has a library of lies that he can tell to make you think that he's Jared Payton, son of Walter Payton, one of which is my father played without socks, which is crazy.
Did he say my father's Walter Payton?
Yes.
Or did you just say my father played without socks?
We need to quiz him.
Mine plays without socks.
Man, he had a big Orange Bowl against FSU.
Yeah, I know. All right, we're going
to against Florida State.
All right.
How many halves did he play?
At the time.
All right. He will be on. He will be on in an hour. Billy, I don't think, like, you have over 20 years, I will say, that one of the great visuals of my life, I will take it with me as a forever memory on this show. When Mike is talking about something he cares about deeply, and you are pretending to care next to him.
Not pretending. You're trying to sow seeds of division here that I'm not going to allow.
Okay.
This is how you tried to break apart the Payton family, and it's not going to happen here.
Okay, fair enough. So you tell me where I have what I'm going to allege wrong, and I will withdraw my criticism on what I believe to be the gleam in your eye that I can recognize that I have a fluency in, that I don't believe anybody else has a fluency in. You so had no interest in Emory Williams talk.
No, I mean, it's for someone. Maybe not me, but it's for someone. Someone's getting something out of it, so I'm not here to, boo other people's, whatever that saying is.
It is fairly amazing.
Yuck other people's yums. That's it. Thank you, Roy.
It is fairly amazing that second half was so disastrous that Miami changed their entire plan for that position.
Hard to believe.
Great MVP trophy for the Orange Bowl, just filled with oranges. Incredible.
And their defensive coordinator got fired for that, or just the whole season? If we're making our evaluations in a half now,
that's wild. That we're just openly saying our entire process for decision making on this player is how he does in 2 quarters.
Yeah, ridiculous.
No, but it's like it was decidedly pro Emory, and then after that half, everyone kind of knew. But
isn't it true Carson Beck was eager, to say the least, to come here largely because his girlfriend plays on the women's basketball team? He wanted to come here.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that. He also declared for the NFL draft.
Right, but changed his mind.
Just like Cam Ward did.
It's hard to believe that Mario Cristobal is going to turn down an accomplished, proven college quarterback for Emory Williams?
I would.
He didn't know about Carson Beck at the time. Carson Beck was talked about as possible solutions, Mario Cristobal hadn't spoken to Carson Beck. Carson Beck wasn't in the portal.
I will tell you, okay, that you have more information than me, and so I'm just using the information you're giving me to arrive at the assessment that if you're results driven and you care about process, what you just described to me, Mike, is pretty terrible process to love Emory Williams for a year and a half, and then all of a sudden, when you've got to replace the best offensive performer at that position I've ever seen, and you're like, our evaluation was this guy was good a half ago, and he's no longer good. If that's you're going to have to give me more information for me to trust that process.
Is it? Because every single one of you guys came away with the same impression of Emory Williams. Like, oh, if Miami goes into the season.
I never thought he was good, though.
I didn't either.
And the coaches are supposed to know more than me.
Well,
isn't that where you're at? Like, your coaches are supposed to know more than you. If they're like all in on Emory Williams and then one half of football changes it, I'm a football fan. I'm not a coach, right?
I mean, it was pretty obvious to everybody that Miami's defense was a mess and that changes need to be made. So sometimes, like, sometimes not being super close to it actually helps you. Like, the staff liked Emory Williams, and the staff saw the precipitous fall between Cam Ward, a potential number 1 pick, and Emory Williams. Granted, it wasn't a fair situation for Emory Williams to jump into, not having many receivers. But it was obvious, and yes, if Emory Williams goes out and plays well in that second half and Miami wins that football game, Emory Williams is, in all likelihood, I think, your starting quarterback next season. Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, Billy, what notes are you taking now?
I just wrote EW, Emory Williams.
You can't please you, Dan.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm just here. I'm trying to pay attention. I really just want to ask Greg about orange juice because we were talking about the Orange Bowl and the Syracuse Orange. Are you a juice man? You strike me as a juice man.
No, I find orange juice to be too tart or too sweet. I've never had an orange juice that walks that line.
Really?
It's one extreme or the other. By the way, thank God Cam Ward had a good first quarter in his first game, or else they might have benched him.
That's why they call him Cam Quarter.
Exactly.
You know what?
My dad's a tuned liquid man, by the way. Coffee and beer.
If you ever juice your own orange juice, surprising how useless oranges are. You gotta juice like 8 oranges to get a glass of orange juice. It's incredibly wasteful. They don't produce any juice. That's why the price of orange juice is when you go to some restaurants, it's like $4. Like, this seems steep. It's like, no, that was like 12 oranges to make that one glass of orange juce.
This
crazy.
You're just doing silly talk, but
no, I'm a juice man, and I'm concerned about this economy and the fruits.
Juice man.
I will say,
a superhero.
in Billy's defense. I will say on behalf of people listening to this right now who have daily unhappinesses that are surrounding the price of things and the inability to afford things and the skyrocketing inflation.
Taking some liberty here within Billy's defense because I don't know where this is going. Just get out on the front end. I don't know where we're going with this,
I'll tell you right now.
We're on this journey together.
I just wrote down eggs.
Let's get to EW.
Eggs, dude, eggs. And I'm not going to do it again because I've done it a number of times. Lime's out of control. Out of control.
Yeah.
Strawberries going down.
I paid $10 for a small glass of fresh juice that had some things in it that should have cost $1.99 because of where the price of these things is going.
Yeah, but the places you go.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is just this was
the places you go.
I'm just on the beach. I'm just on.
Well, that's the beach. That's exactly right.
It's outdoors. It's an outdoor market. It's an outdoor market. It's not a fancy place. It's an outdoor place where they're selling produce.
Farmers markets are expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Again, it's $10 though. Yes, I'm not saying that all glasses of juice are $10, but when Billy says that the orange is useless because you need 8 oranges
you really do.
to make an orange juice, he's not wrong.
I feel like I could get a glass of orange juice. Give me like 3 oranges.
No, I'm telling you, you'll get like 2 shot glasses with 3 oranges. They're surprisingly useless. And there's also specific oranges that are made for juicing. Like, you have to look up which oranges should I buy for juicing because I guess they're juicier than other oranges. Because some clementines, get out of here.
Why are you flexing, Chris Cody, as if you could get more juice out of an orange than the average weak man?
I think I could.
I use it. I was using a juicer, a machine that's made to juice this orange. You put it on the thing, it goes, and then it shoots it out. Pulp is a problem, if we're going to be honest with you. The pulp gets in the way, so then you have to go after every couple things. You take out all the pulp because that starts clogging up the juicing machine. But
are you a some pulp guy?
I like
or
some
no
pulp. I was just about to say.
I like some pulp.
I'm pro pulp.
No
fiber.
Yeah.
I like to bite the pulp a little bit.
Really?
It's like a little explosion
We
of
love
citrus.
pulp.
you could probably put it inside your mouth like you do a Zin.
With
the pulp,
Zins.
yeah.
We're pulp people.
Put it on
Really?
the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. No pulp, little pulp, or max pulp in your orange juice. And can we get someone out there, please, to go run and get us 8 oranges to see how much juice Chris Cody can actually produce, squeezing them with his man boobs the way that he was when he was doing calisthenics.
Also, do you think because I actually don't take Zins.
Wait, hold on a second. How are you planning on juicing this orange with your bare
Well,
hands?
That's what he's saying.
Well,
yes.
the way I've seen it done is you have a contraption where you're squeezing
Yes.
it down
You
on
need a
something.
juicer.
If
A juicer.
we don't have that here, I can.
There's hand juicers.
He was doing
I
it
wanna see you
physically
just kind
by-
of
he was
Man,
doing
I
it-
was just I was stretching to do it.
You're talking about ripping these apart and you cut it in half, and we're
Yeah.
squeezing with our hands the juice like
8
animals.
of them. I'll give you 8 oranges.
Oh,
8
I
oranges.
can get, I'll feed us all orange juice with 8 oranges.
No. Maybe
At least
No,
3
let's-
big glasses. If
Maybe-
8 oranges.
What? No.
Well, you just said you'd feed 30 people.
With just,
three
I meant everyone
glasses.
I'm
with
looking
just
at
your
right now.
hands, Billy is saying the correct thing, that you will not be able. Who's
It's
betting?
shocking how little juice comes out of oranges.
But these-
Like my wife is getting sick or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I would like some fresh orange juice." And you call a place, and it's like it's $4.99. You're like, that seems like a lot. Like I could buy a juicer on Amazon for like $14 and just juice these oranges myself. And then I realize how quickly you go through these oranges.
They get you with these tiny cups though of orange juice. The little cups.
I like those.
When you go to like little breakfast joints.
Big orange
do.
juice.
And if there's pulp in there, it's really just kind of juice in the juice. You know what I mean? Like it's elevating how much juice. It's like ice. Pulp is ice for orange juice.
Has essentially become what Google and Zoom is. If I hand you a nicotine pouch, it's even if it's not.
It's like a Band-Aid.
Like, I don't actually do. I prefer others in the market,
Really?
but it's.
Enough of the juice.
Are you worried about microplastics? Man.
Just anywhere or your
Well,
testes?
after that study on the testicles came out, I was like, okay, let me do something about this. And then apple pectin is a part of my
Wait,
vitamin
what did you do?
regimen.
What did you do
Apple
about it?
pectin. Apple pectin.
What is that?
Apple pectin has shown an ability to gather all the foreign substances in your body and extract them. It's what they gave the kids in Chernobyl. Apple pectin, if you're worried about microplastics. I also don't use black plastic. That's not why'd you whoa that?
I also don't use black.
It's been a weird
What do you think I'm going to say?
It started out weird,
What do you
and
think
now
I'm
it's
going to
just
say?
giving people
I'm also
license
not
to say
going to use
wild
black
shit.
people. What? What? I'm just worried about the black Rubbermaid thing.
I'm
It's
with
like
you, Roy.
it's tough. The chopping boards, the plastic chopping boards, did away with that. It's all wood now. Wood kitchen utensils, wood cutting boards. I'm all in on that. I am a little worried about the no-stick frying pan because it's got a little. I read something. 2 million microplastics.
But you still need a plastic straw.
Yes, that I do.
Oh, ridiculous. Go back to paper straws. I mean, plastic
You
straws.
sound
are
like us
worse.
in Canada.
Well, you know what? That's don't get me started on that. By the way, put on the poll.
There are no turtles in Montreal.
Put on your poll.
that a fact?
Do you approve of the price hike of eggs? Because I defend the price hike of eggs. Okay, I'm in Publix the other day. I wander by the egg aisle. I see the eggs are, I think, $6.49 or $5.99 or something. Sizable hike, warranted. Okay, respect the chicken. They do a lot of work. I mean, eggs are you can cook them 4 or 5 different ways. They're all great. Eggs have been underpriced for years. Let's quit complaining about the price of eggs.
Well, I think the price is up because there's like a bird flu and they had to kill a bunch of the
right.
chickens, so there's less supply.
Yeah, but that doesn't start with the chickens, right?
Really?
The bird flu emanates from non-chicken birds flying overhead, dropping all their stuff, and that infects the chickens. Chickens get a bad rap. People think bird flu started with chicken.
What did it start with?
It starts with McGill will back me up on this.
Not today.
It's not in today.
Okay, you got a crow flying overhead. The crow takes a shit. The crow has bird flu. He takes a dump. It hits a chicken, or the chicken pecks the dung on the ground after it heats up a little bit.
Classic chicken or an egg situation, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
right.
Mike's chicken.
All right, I know I gotta do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics lip gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at nyxcosmetics.com or a retailer near you.